Many people are concerned about Antarctica's 24 hours of daylight. People in the ball Earth side are coming out saying the 24 hours of daylight debunks flat Earth. Now the people on the flat Earth side are sort of wondering how to respond to this, I believe. And that's what this little video is about. My main points I'll make in a minute. But first, let's look at Ushuaia in the southern tip of South America, using the ball Earth terms, using the word southern there. Ushuaia is the so-called southernmost city in the world. It's actually further from the equator, significantly further from the equator than where I live, just south of Ann Arbor. It's actually significantly further from the equator than I am, but it's roughly a similar daylight pattern to what I have. I think they get about an hour. Yeah, they get about an hour more daylight on the summer solstice, and an hour less at the winter solstice. So the point here is that Antarctica is sort of like NASA. Purportedly, only a few people have access to that part of the world, just like only a few people have access to the information of NASA. When information is like that and it's not verifiable by you, and it's only verifiable by a few people, it's by definition non-scientific information because it's not empirical. There may be a few people here and there in NASA or that got through government agencies that have been to Antarctica that will tell you, oh, they've seen something in the NASA data or in the Antarctica daylight patterns, so therefore it's empirical. But that is what the definition of scientific work is not. To be empirical means that anybody can verify it, direct observation, if they just simply have the means to. But of course, this is what NASA information and 24 hours of daylight in Antarctica information is not. So the point here is, how can anybody do anything with any information about Antarctica? It's like we're all talking about unicorns. We're all talking about something that we can't see. So the Antarctica issue really is out of the picture as far as if you're trying to prove the world is round, is a sphere. Ushuaia is really the last place any of us can verify daylight patterns, and those fit right in to the rest of the world. And then all of a sudden we're supposed to believe, just because some government agencies send us some video of Antarctica's. Now we are all told about airline flight, the Antarctica Airlines flight out of Australia that supposedly could be taken to try to verify what's going on in Antarctica. That, of course, won't work. Even if those flights are real, and you really can get on a plane in Australia and they will fly you over a bunch of snow, you're not flying the plane. You don't know exactly the routes it's taken, if it just sticks along the edge of Antarctica, or if there's a bigger patch of ice in Antarctica that the plane just flies around in that part. These are all unknowns. Nobody knows any of this. So, unfortunately, the Antarctica issue isn't going to help sphere-Earth debate. So we're able to go to the so-called North Pole and see the sun go around in a circle just precisely as the flat Earth model stipulates. But how convenient, nobody can, for all practical purposes, go to Antarctica to verify that the same thing happens there. So the lack of verifiability prohibits this from being an object of debate. And of course, everybody in the flat Earth community is thinking how convenient this is, because we're all thinking we go to Antarctica and we're not going to see 24 hours of sunlight. So it's very convenient for the ball Earth philosophy that things have worked out this way. See, a lot of people get really angry when you start excluding things from the conversation because they are they're theoretical. A lot of people get really mad about that. When people have propaganda to push, they love theory, because with theory you can prove absolutely anything. But with direct observation, you only can prove what is directly observed. That often will involve some work sometimes to find out exactly what you're observing. So a lot of people won't like this video. But what are we supposed to do? Say, oh, let's allow completely theoretical information that nobody can verify for all practical purposes except for a couple of unknown government people around the world. Yeah, let's let that information into our debate, and our whole philosophy of our lives about who we are and where we come from, what kind of earth we come from, and if it's describable in terms of the Bible's creation story in Genesis 1 through 3, or are we going to involve the non-empirical, professional, scientific creation story of the Big Bang and the Big Bang singularity, a theoretical construct? Is that going to dictate what the philosophy we create to observe ourselves through? So yeah, so what are we supposed to do? So if you don't like that that I'm claiming that this is non-empirical information we're not going to include, what else am I supposed to do? You know, the only way you can know something is with direct observation, something about the world, that is. Otherwise, it can be tricked and faked, and people lie. When people have agendas and motives, they act weird and they lie. Lie through their teeth, and people know all the tricks on how to do that.